What's up, y'all? I see so many people today that are like 23 years old or in their 20s and they feel like they're 43. Their back hurts, tired all the time, can't remember the last time they felt genuinely energized. I hear people saying things like, I'm too old for this, about activities that should be in your prime. Like, I've literally heard people say like, I'm too old for roller coasters now, or I'm too old for... It's like, what the hell? And something is like fundamentally different about Gen Z aging. And not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Like 20-year-olds today carry a weariness that previous generations didn't develop until middle age. Higher rates of health problems usually seen in older people. Mental health issues in unprecedented levels like we talked about in the last video. A generation that's exhausted before they even got started. There's just a lot of 20-year-olds that feel like they're 40. We're going to get into what's causing this accelerated aging. It kind of ties into the last video a little bit, and we're going to talk about what's causing this accelerated aging and what it means for a generation that's pretty much already burnt out. And the physical reality is Gen Z's bodies are showing wear that shouldn't really exist yet. It's 20-year-olds with the posture of office workers in their 50s and years of hunching over phones and creating forward head posture, rounded shoulders, chronic neck and back pain. It's the tech neck, and it's destroying spines before they're even fully developed. And Gen Z will average 5 to 6 hours of sleep per night, which that will kill you slowly in itself. We need 8 or 9, as we know. Years of cumulative sleep debt just ages you faster than almost anything else. Your body never fully recovers, and it creates a state of permanent exhaustion. Previous generations at 20 were naturally more active as well. And Gen Z sits more than any generation in history. For school, work, leisure, this sedentary existence creates physical aging that shouldn't happen until decades later. It didn't help that we had the pandemic on top of it. And people today, we grew up on processed food, energy drinks, fast food, and whatever's convenient. And our body is built from garbage materials, especially here in the US. They just be approving anything. And then we wonder why it feels like it's falling apart in our 20s. It's like using low quality equipment in games. Or you're using a wooden shovel in Minecraft. It's going to break down faster, performs worse, and it needs constant maintenance. You got to keep making new ones. Like, your body is the same. You feed it garbage, treat it poorly, it's gonna age rapidly, and that's just like a norm today. Hours of screen time daily since childhood. Gen Z has higher rates of eye problems than previous generations at the same age, and our eyes are aged beyond our years. And chronic stress like floods our body with cortisol constantly, and this literally accelerates cellular aging. Like, our biological age is older than our chronological age because stress will age you prematurely, and it's one of the worst things up there with sleep. It's 20-year-olds with high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, chronic pain conditions, digestive issues, and these used to be middle-aged problems that we would see, and now they're just affecting people who should be in peak physical condition. And beyond physical aging, like, there's a mental exhaustion that makes Gen Z feels decades older than what they really are. And Gen Z has never experienced life without constant information bombardment. Since we could read, a lot of us been processing news, social media, content, messages, and information load human brains aren't designed to handle, especially people who are a little bit younger than their 20s. If we grew up in constant crisis, the 9/11 aftermath, financial crisis, school shootings, climate anxiety, pandemic, political chaos, economic instability, crazy ass economy, our nervous system has just been in fight or flight since childhood for some of us. I think we're seeing it more and more. There's people, every time you open your phone, you're confronted with global problems that you cannot solve. This creates learned helplessness and existential dread that can easily age your psyche rapidly if you feed into it too much. Every aspect of life requires endless decisions and research, like what to eat, where, watch, buy, believe. And previous generations just had fewer choices and less decision fatigue. We're mentally exhausted from constant decision making as well. Like that, and people back then, pioneers and fucking even caveman, they didn't have to make too many decisions for the day. And for us, it's like before we even get out of bed sometimes and checking your phone, it's like your brain's firing on all cylinders. And previous generations had mental downtime. We had boredom, waiting, commuting without entertainment. Like, Gen Z fills every moment with content consumption. Our brain just never rests, and it never processes, and it just constantly inputs. And a lot of us compare ourselves to everyone on social media. Our 20s used to be for figuring things out, and now you're behind before you start because someone your age already quote unquote made it. And quarter life crisis used to hit around 25 to 30, and now it's hitting at 20 to 22, and some people are even saying it's hitting earlier, which I don't understand. But you're having existential crisis about life direction and meaning before our brain is even fully developed. Even I had this, and I mean, it's crazy. And the economic reality that our generation faces will age you in ways that are hard to articulate but impossible to ignore. Many Gen Z started adulthood with massive student loan debt, like a lot of people who went to college, and previous generations could work summer jobs to pay for college, and we're 50K in debt at 22 with no guarantee of employment. It's a lot of people in that position. Our parents bought houses at 25 and we can barely afford rent. and the complete impossibility of traditional markers of adulthood create stress that will age you psychologically. And like I've said in other videos, the game's changing. There's just different routes we have to take now, and not everyone has access to that information or understands it or is willing to learn it. You know, no job security, no benefits, no pension. Like, we're building nothing permanent and just surviving day to day. It's a lot of people in that reality right now. And one job isn't enough for some people as well. It's like games where the grind required to progress is so excessive that you burn out before getting anywhere meaningful, except this is your actual life. And people are already assuming they'll probably never retire. Social security won't exist. We can't save enough. Everything's too expensive. And like, if you live with that knowledge, you'll work until you die. It's just gonna create a weariness on your body. There's people that can't afford to move out. They take that as, I can't start a family or buy a house or achieve any traditional adulthood milestones. Keeps people stuck in extended adolescence, and not by choice, but maybe by economic impossibility that they don't know how to get out of. And I mentioned social media, and it's not the factor to Gen Z aging faster. It's literally the accelerant that makes everything else worse. We're not just comparing ourselves to our immediate circle. Like, we're comparing to millions of people all posting their best moments, and it creates inadequacy that previous generations never experienced. And we're not just living life, there's people documenting it, curating it, performing it for an audience, whilst dealing with all the things I just listed in this video. And this meta layer of existence is going to be exhausting in ways that are hard to explain to people who didn't grow up with it. You have the fear of missing out, and it used to be limited to your immediate social circle, and now it's everyone everywhere doing everything. And there's people who struggle with the constant feeling that they're missing out, and that's going to age you psychologically. And there's people who have their entire self-worth tied to likes, views, engagement, and even content creators that do that type of stuff. And it creates a dopamine cycle that's just exhausting to maintain and devastating when people don't get the validation they need. It's like one wrong post, one bad take, one mistake captured forever could ruin your life if you really have a following and stuff like that. And living under that surveillance and judgment ages you through constant vigilance. It's like there's so many more famous people now, or people that are at least well known and have their entire livelihood and following on social media. So we see a lot more cases of this now, especially in younger people. And years of training our brain for short-term content just means we can't focus on anything substantial. And like I said, I mentioned some of this stuff in my last video, and this cognitive decline usually happens with aging, and we got it in our teens. And the cherry on top is that many of us lost crucial development years in our late teens and early 20s due to isolation from the pandemic. And these are years that we're not gonna get back. Like, that loss probably aged us, forcing to skip developmental stages and remote school, remote work, social isolation during peak social development years. And Gen Z missed learning crucial social skills. That's why we got the quote-unquote Gen Z stare. I'm sure you might have heard of that before. And it just creates social anxiety that's going to make you feel older. I think the pandemic killed whatever optimism Gen Z had left. I feel like the overall vibe was still good in 2019, but we watched systems fail and adults prove incompetent, and the future became even more uncertain. And that loss of hope just aged us. I think a lot of us, especially for me, I was just about to graduate and step into the real world and everything like that. And I'm telling you, the pandemic messed that up so badly. I was already kind of heading down a bad path. I've talked about it in my story videos and stuff, but that really sealed the deal. It's like the game's server shut down mid-match and the progress was lost. And we can restart, but we lost the time and momentum that we cannot recover. Sleep schedules destroyed, exercise habits lost, social connections were severed, and these routine disruptions had lasting effects on physical and mental health that will continue to age you. And there's ways to reverse this Gen Z premature aging on a bigger scale, and the damage is not fully done. We can reverse some of this. Like, physically, we can recover. We can start working out, fix our posture, sleep properly, touch grass, eat real food, have purpose. The stuff I talk about in a lot of my videos. It's a nice universal solution for a lot of people, I'm telling you. And our body is still young enough to heal if you give it what it needs. Even if you're getting into your 30s, you can still reverse a lot. When I work at my job in treatment and stuff, I tell people all the time, you can reverse half of the damage you've done just by good lifestyle choices. And I did it with myself. Mental recovery requires aggressive boundaries with technology and social media as well. Limit screen time and stop doom scrolling. Reduce information intake. Like, your brain needs rest. It's never gotten. It's Friday night when I'm recording this video, and I'd love to play some games right now or hop on the call with my friends and play, but I'm trying to work on the business and make a few videos. And what the point I'm trying to make is, I'm using technology and I am using my phone and my computer, but I'm trying to use it to make content and work on my business. So I'm not saying limit that and cut out you using it for work or to do good in your life, but maybe for pleasure and scrolling, we cut that down a bit. And the economic factors are not going to fix quickly because they're systemic, but we can control our response, and we can lower our needs and build slowly, and stop comparing to impossible standards. Like, it's not good for us. And we can't reverse years of aging overnight, but small consistent changes over months and years can restore vitality and what we thought was gone. It's like healing in games. It's going to require resources and time. And the honest truth, some damage might just be permanent as well for some of us, and years of certain habits create lasting effects, but we can still improve significantly from where some of us are at now. And there's 20-year-olds that feel 40 because the world aged you prematurely as well, through technology, economic stress, and social media, pandemic, constant crisis, and some of us were aged beyond our years. And this isn't inevitable though. We can make choices that slower reverses aging and recognize like what our part is and take responsibility for what we can control. But it requires going against everything modern life pushes us towards. And sleep, exercise, real food, time offline, genuine relationships, purpose, boundaries, like these aren't luxuries. They're just requirements for not aging yourself to death before 30. And you deserve to feel 20 when you're 20, not 40. That requires fighting back against everything designed to drain you. But your future self will thank you for starting now. I can promise you that. So anyway, that's all I got. I appreciate y'all watching, and remember, you're not supposed to feel this old this young. Something is wrong and you can fix it. Peace out.